The most dangerous version of a man is the one who has vanished from the radar, not because he is lost, but because he is being rebuilt in the dark. Look at your life right now. You are constantly available. You are a node in a network of trivialities, responding to every ping, every gossip, and every demand from people who do not care about your mission. You are being bled dry by the death of 1,000 distractions. You think staying connected is a virtue. I am here to tell you it is a tactical error. You cannot build a cathedral while the crowd is constantly shaking the scaffolding. You cannot forge a masterpiece in the middle of a carnival. To reach the next level of your evolution, you must be willing to become a ghost. You must go dark. You must execute a tactical disappearance. This is not about hiding from the world. It is about starving the world of your presence so that you can feed your own potential. Today, we enter monk mode. We are going to deconstruct the mechanics of the strategic retreat, the surgical removal of toxic liabilities, and the psychological calibration required to disappear as a commoner and re-emerge as a sovereign. Shut the gates. The briefing begins now. Welcome to the Citadel. But before we ghost the noise, you must secure the perimeter. This channel is a sanctuary for the focused, a forge for those who understand that being liked is the consolation prize for those who fail to be great. If you are ready to sever the cords of mediocrity and disappear into your own greatness, subscribe to Tactical Sage 365. Signal your commitment in the comments. Type Ghost Mode if you are prepared to leave the herd behind. Let the weak remain visible. We are moving into the shadows. Why is your progress stalling? It is because you are carrying a cargo of parasites. Every relationship in your life is either an asset or a liability. There is no middle ground. The people you hang out with just because you've known them since childhood, the friends who only call when they need to vent their drama, the social circles that revolve around mutual sedation, these are not your support system. They are anchors. They have a vested interest in keeping you where you are. Because if you rise, you remind them of their own stagnation. Mediocrity is a magnetic field. When you try to pull away, the field intensifies. They will use shame. They will use concern. They will use the "remember where you came from" trap to pull you back into the mud. This is why a gradual change often fails. The parasites sense the shift and tighten their grip. The only tactical solution is a total break, a sudden, unexplained disappearance. You must starve the parasites of their host. By vanishing, you remove their ability to influence your frame. You create a hermetic seal around your development. You are not just busy, you are unavailable. Monk mode is not a vacation. It is a tactical deployment. It is a period of hyper-focus where you intentionally reduce your social bandwidth to 0 so that you can increase your output to 100. In tactical terms, this is a consolidation of forces. You are pulling all your energy back from the outposts of your life, the social media, the parties, the trivial obligations, and concentrating it all at the center of your mission. The duration must be fixed. 30 days, 90 days, 6 months. During this time, the rules are ironclad. You do not announce it. You do not post a leaving social media status. Sovereigns do not seek permission to move. They just move. You stop answering the texts that don't lead to progress. You stop attending the events that don't sharpen your blade. You become a mystery to your old circle. While they are speculating about where you went, you are in the lab. While they are wondering if you're okay, you are hitting the iron. While they are stuck in the phantom world of pixels, you are building the internal citadel of reality. To disappear effectively, you must first perform a liability audit. Look at your contact list. Look at your daily schedule. Who makes you feel drained after a conversation? Who triggers your lower impulses? Who encourages your laziness under the guise of self-care? These individuals must be ghosted, not with a long explanation. Explanations are a sign of submissiveness. You are not a child explaining yourself to a parent. You are a commander reallocating resources. If a connection does not contribute to your virtue, your wisdom, or your mission, it is noise. Cut the wire. You will feel a sense of guilt. This is the social leash pulling back. Ignore it. The guilt is simply the dying gasp of the version of you that was a slave to others' opinions. In monk mode, your only loyalty is to your potential. Everyone else is a distraction until they prove they are a partner in your ascension. CTA 2. The calibration anchor. Pause. Think of that one person or habit right now that you know is holding you back. The one you are afraid to let go of because you're scared of the silence that follows. That fear is exactly where your growth is buried. If you are ready to choose the silence over the anchor, type "rebuilt in the dark" in the comments. Claim your seat in the shadows. We are moving to the disappearance protocols. How do you vanish without being found? You apply the Dark Sector Protocol. Protocol 1. Digital silence. Your phone is the main tracking device for your parasites. Delete the social apps. Move your communication to a single, secure channel that you only check twice a day. You are no longer on call for the world. You have entered the dark sector. Protocol 2. The Rule of 3. During monk mode, you only have room for 3 things: your body, your work, and your mind. If it doesn't fit into those 3 pillars, it doesn't exist. You train with an intensity that would terrify the average man. You work with a focus that creates years of progress in weeks. You read and meditate with a hunger for truth that burns away the lies of the herd. Everything else, dating, movies, casual browsing, is a breach of the seal. Protocol 3. The ghosting of the ego. This is the hardest part. You must ghost your own need for validation. You will achieve something great, and your first instinct will be to share it, to get that hit of approval. Resist. When you share a goal or a win too early, you release the tension that is meant to drive you further. Keep the win for yourself. Let the results be the only noise you make. Disappearing means your ego is no longer being fed by the external world. It must learn to feed on the internal satisfaction of a job well done. What happens when you disappear? At first, there is panic. Then, there is boredom. Then, there is the shift. When the external world stops talking to you, you start talking to yourself. You begin to hear the sovereign signal that has been drowned out for years. You realize how much of your personality was just a performance for others. You realize how much of your stress was actually just other people's chaos leaking into your perimeter. In the dark, you are forced to become your own source of light. This is where true self-mastery is born. You learn to regulate your own emotions without a support group. You learn to find motivation without a cheering section. You become a self-contained unit of power. This is the Stoic ideal, a man who is so grounded in his own citadel that he can exist in the middle of a desert or a prison cell and still be free. Monk mode is the training ground for that level of sovereignty. It is the tactical hardening of the soul. Monk mode is not a permanent state. It is a cycle of renewal. But you do not return as the man who left. When the period of disappearance ends, your re-emergence must be a shock to the system. You don't go back to the same circles and explain where you were. You return with a different body. You return with a different bank account. You return with a different level of focus and a vocabulary that the old you wouldn't understand. You will find that many of the people you ghosted are no longer relevant to you. You have out-leveled the game they are still playing. Your presence will now have a gravity it didn't have before. Why? Because you prove to the universe and to yourself that you can walk away from everything. A man who can walk away is a man who cannot be controlled. Your tactical disappearance was actually a tactical liberation. We are reaching the end of the briefing. Look at your phone. Look at your calendar. Look at the people you are texting right now. Are they worth the sacrifice of your future self? Are they worth the winter of the soul that you are currently avoiding? The world will tell you that disappearing is selfish. The world will tell you that you are lonely. Let them. Their opinions are the currency of the broke. Their connection is the leash of the weak. You are going to finish this video and you are going to make a decision. You are going to pick a date, and on that date, the radar goes blank. No explanation, no goodbye, just the silence of the sovereign moving into the dark. Build your fortress, forge your iron, burn the bridges that lead to your past. When you re-emerge, they won't recognize you. And that is the point. The sovereign is a ghost until he is a god. The dark is where the gold is found. The briefing is concluded. Now comes the execution. For the next 72 hours, practice micro-disappearance. No social media, no casual texting, no hanging out. Test the walls of your cage. Feel the itch of the parasite wanting to check in. Watch it die. Share this briefing with one man who is drowning in the noise. Subscribe to Tactical Sage 365. We do not provide comfort. We provide the blueprint for the prison break. Go forth in strength. The citadel is watching. We are out.